Welcome to episode 7 of Brilliant Persuasion. I am Stephen Young, and to help you gain the maximum value from these training podcasts, I recommend listening to them in order. This is because earlier episodes introduce techniques that may not be fully explained in detail in later installments, and I wouldn't want you to miss out. So, if you've started with this episode and you have time, please review the previous episodes to gain the full advantages of the immersive training approach. Today, we're going to explore what I like to call don't not language, otherwise known as prohibition language, and how you can use it subtly in persuasion. This approach involves employing language that appears to dissuade or caution the subject from specific actions, while subtly guiding them a step closer toward your desired outcome. You're going to discover why telling someone not to do something can actually make them think about doing it. We'll look at why this works psychologically, how to structure it in your own words, and how you can use it naturally in sales, coaching, negotiations, and personal conversations. We'll also do a little built-in, audio-friendly exercises together. Just listen and try them in real time. Let's start with the core concept. Prohibition language works on a simple and powerful psychological truth. When you tell someone not to think of something, they tend to think of it first. This makes them believe they can avoid thinking about it, which is impossible. Simply stating the words plants the ideas and suggestions you want others to agree with or act upon. For example,
Don't think about checking your phone.
you'll probably see it in your mind.
Don't imagine lying on a sunny beach.
It brings the scene to life, doesn't it?
Don't think about the smell of fresh coffee.
You can almost taste it, can't you?
Don't picture your pet wearing sunglasses on a skateboard.
So cute.
Don't imagine yourself procrastinating.
You'll still see it happening. Eventually, when you suggest to someone, don't imagine buying this, they will picture themselves buying it just to understand what you mean. And then it's too late, because they've already heard your words and the mental image is already playing in their mind. That's why negative phrasing can be surprisingly effective. It subtly presents ideas in a way that seems cautious and polite, making it acceptable to listeners. When naturally and carefully and proactively integrated, it helps your conversations and presentations be more genuine and convincing. Here's the basic psychology. The brain visually represents a concept before dismissing it. Attempting not to think about something still produces a clear mental image, which then becomes prominent in a person's awareness. Additionally, once your statement is heard, it can't be unheard by the listener. The technique has fulfilled its intended purpose. So when you say, "I'm not saying you should buy this today," you're planting the idea of buying today while appearing to discourage it. This technique is indirect and courteous and is most effective when intentionally woven into conversation. The subconscious doesn't process negative suggestions clearly, enabling your positive messages to emerge without pressure. After introducing a prohibition statement, the discussion should continue without drawing special attention to it. And I'd recommend not using it at the end of a presentation, as it may be interpreted as a command, as your words are left hanging in the air. Let's look at the basic structure you can use immediately. First, use a negative phrase and follow it with your suggestion. That's the idea you want your prospect to hear, visualize, and later act upon. Here are a few more examples. I've deliberately paused after the negative phrase to emphasize the suggestion. Don't imagine how easy this will be. I'm not suggesting you rush into this. You shouldn't think about how useful this could be. The negative phrase gives you a way to deliver the suggestion gently, without sounding pushy or direct. It sounds courteous and respectful, yet the listener still fully processes the suggestion. Here are a few more natural, everyday ways you might use this. The speaker has paused between the two parts of the technique, only for emphasis. In a real conversation, this pause is too long and makes the suggestion too obvious.
Don't worry about how quickly this will work for you. I'm not saying you need to choose right now. You shouldn't think this is the only option.
Each of these pairs a negative phrase with the suggestion you want your subject to think about. Let's try practicing a few of these together. Wherever you're listening, try repeating them quietly out loud or in your mind. Here's the first example.
I'm not suggesting you have to decide now.
How would you phrase this for your context? Here are a few example responses. A salesperson might say,
I'm not saying you should sign today. Maybe you'll see how smoothly this will work for you.
A manager might say,
I'm not suggesting we adopt this immediately. Can you imagine how more efficiently things will run?
a parent might say,
I'm not suggesting you finish your homework now, just notice how good you'll feel when it's done.
have you observed that the phrases following the suggestions utilize the awareness vocabulary that was introduced in episode 6? This type of language boosts the effectiveness of the technique. If you missed that episode, please go back and listen so you can apply multiple techniques together. You'll quickly notice how much more effective this makes your persuasive conversations. Here are a few more examples. Can you complete the phrase that works with your situation?
I wouldn't want you to.
Here are a few example responses. A salesperson might say,
I wouldn't want you to only consider my proposal. Think about how effectively our solution really meets your needs.
The conversation continues. A manager might say,
I wouldn't want you to focus only on this process. Imagine how much time making this change will save us.
a parent might say,
I wouldn't want you to think this is about having to do your homework now. Just imagine how quickly you'll get to do the fun stuff once you've finished.
These are simple, flexible patterns. Once you're comfortable using prohibition statements, you can adapt them to any situation in your world, whether you're selling, managing a team, or talking with your children and friends. Let's take a quick look and clarify the pattern. First, we use prohibition phrases like,
Don't think.
I'm not suggesting.
Don't imagine.
You wouldn't want to.
I can't think why you'd want, followed by a positive suggestion.
How well this could work for you.
How easily this fits your needs.
How quickly this will help.
How much value you're getting.
How much time you'll save.
And then to soften the suggestion, we follow with the vocabulary of awareness we studied in episode 6. Here are a few example words. Imagine, picture, notice, see, consider, realize, aware. Remember, these persuasion techniques are powerful. Please use them responsibly and not to mislead or manipulate others unfairly. Think of them as tools to open someone's mind to a possibility they might resist if you pushed too directly. Persuasion is most effective and most ethical when it helps people make better choices, and especially in situations of mutual gain. This podcast is based on my book, Brilliant Persuasion, available on Amazon. The more you realize that persuasion isn't a trick, it's a skill, the more you'll notice how much more persuasive you're becoming. Inside the book, you'll find one of the most powerful persuasive techniques ever revealed. When this pattern was first identified, it was considered too dangerous to share with the public. It won't be covered in these podcasts, but you really should know how to recognize when it's being used on you, and that's every single day. Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep getting brilliant at persuasion. Thanks for listening. See you in the next episode.